Welcome to the start of a brand new business week. Good morning. I'm Harriet Agbinyi. This is Business Morning live on Channels Television, your home for the news. Let's kick off the show from the nation's capital, Abuja. Now, the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma, will give a breakdown of the 7.29 trillion naira 2017 budget estimates today as presented by the President Muhammadu Buhari last week to a joint session of the National Assembly. That was last week, Wednesday. Now, capital expenditure was increased from 1.8 trillion naira in 2016 to 2.24 trillion naira in 2017, with recurrent expenditure put at 2.98 trillion naira. Let's also remind you of the parameters, of some of the parameters as contained in the 2017 budget proposal for next year. Of course, we have oil benchmark at $42.50 per barrel. We've got exchange rate put at 305 naira. At the interbank foreign exchange market, it's been hovering around, it's been steady around 305 naira 50 kobo to a dollar. And at the black market, we've seen that at 485. It's been fluctuating between 450 and 500 naira to a dollar. Also, crude oil output is put at 2.2 million barrels per day. Nigeria is currently producing between 1.6 and 1.9 million barrels per day, and we're hoping to see that ramped up, of course, in the coming days. We'll still be talking more about some of the issues and some of the ways the federal government intends to raise revenue. Just last week, the federal government exited its joint venture cash calls. We're talking to Dolapo Oni, who is the head of energy research at EcoBank, much later on the program to talk more to this particular issue. Now, tomorrow, Tuesday, December the 20th, Nigeria's 2017 budget will be in focus of a special studio edition of Business Morning on Channels Television. Nigeria in 2017, the economy via budget roadmap will be interactive with 5 panelists selected from Chevening UK, as well as a cross-section of economists and financial market analysts. Be part of the program on all our social media platforms. For Twitter, you can use the hashtag Budget2017 Roundtable. You know where to find us at Channels TV, at BizMorning, and of course the Twitter handle for the various show anchors, including me. Now, over the weekend and 1 week after rounding up activities marking Channels' 21st anniversary, the broadcaster emerged the winner of the Nigeria Media Merit Awards TV Station of the Year for a record 11 times. Now, the broadcaster had previously won the award 4 straight years of 2000 to 2004 and in 2008 as well as 2010, and then from 2012 to 2015. At this year's awards, Channels Television news anchor Amarachi Ubani also won in the Newscaster of the Year category.
Currently broadcasting in Nigeria. It began transmission.
Well, congratulations to Channels Television. Also this weekend, Forbes listed foremost entrepreneur and president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, as one of the most powerful persons in the world, along with other world leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, American President-elect Donald Trump, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. And Dangote ranked as the 2nd most powerful on the African continent and was 68th most powerful in the world after only Egyptian President Abdel El-Sisi. Last year, he was ranked the 71st most powerful. Now, the Nigerian business mogul has constantly featured in the list since 2013, when he was listed as the only black African so rated by US-based Forbes magazine on the list of 100 most powerful persons in the world. They're back in the skies. Troubled local commercial carrier Aero Contractors is expected to resume operations on the domestic routes this week following a 4-month suspension. In August, the airlines announced an indefinite suspension of all its scheduled services effective from September 1, 2016 and directed all workers to proceed on indefinite leave of absence. Aero explained the decision was part of the management's strategic business realignment to reposition and return the carrier to profitability. So as I said, it's a very busy start for the week. And finally, we have, of course, the final full trading week for the month of December starting today as investors and traders seek last-minute bargain hunting. In the year, the markets were hurt by rising inflation, exchange rate volatility, and a huge gap in fiscal spending. But let's review where the markets ended last week, starting from the fixed income segment of the market, where we saw mostly mixed activities. Don't forget, last week the Central Bank of Nigeria held a primary market auction and the Debt Management Office held its last auction for the year 2016, and we saw kind of tepid movements, tepid activity, particularly around the bonds. We'll be talking to a fixed income trader very shortly from Vertiva Capital Management to take a closer look at those numbers. But from the FMVQ OTC's market, looking at the FGN bonds now, we see that particularly there was strong activity around the bond maturing on the 18th of July 2034 with a price high of 79.95 and a value of 17.2 billion realized at the end of trade on Friday. It's followed by these 3 bonds, of course, 2 of which were also part of those that were offered by the Debt Management Office at its last auction for the year 2016 last week. So the bond maturing on the 18th of March 2036 had 43 deals done and a price high of 77.5, as well as the others you can see there. So at the end of Friday's trade, total number of deals came in at 199 with a value of 33.9 billion naira. For the Treasury bills segment, of course, last week we saw activities opening up on a bullish note for the week, and for Friday, these were the top 4 of the 28 Treasury bills that were traded by investors. Particularly of interest was the bill maturing on the 29th of December. That's in another few days from now, with a discount high of 8.50%, as well as other short to medium dated bills, including the bill maturing on the 19th of January 2017, 16th of March 2017, and March 30, 2017. At the end of the day, value came in at 88.96 billion naira and number of deals at 348. For the equities market, that continued in winning ways, closing northwards at the end of last week. The all-share index and market capitalization are up 3.44% respectively. We have the all-share index at 26,707.10, a market capitalization at 9.18 trillion naira. For only 4 days of trade, because Monday was a public holiday to celebrate Eid al-Maulud, we saw volume coming in at 1.65 billion, valued at 12.58 billion naira, and exchanged in total. Of course, the total number of deals, shares that were exchanged came in at 12,860. And for the NASDAQ OTC's market, that's the market for unlisted securities, we have the index flat at 614.24 with a market capitalization of 415.67 billion naira. Volume came in at 14,192, exchanged in 14 deals, valued at 966,216 naira.